Hi, this is Jackie Lewis, and I'm here with Steve Sievers, and we're here. I'm so excited for the Q&A for Into the Night. Into the Night won the Warsaw Film Festival and is also Academy Award eligible. Steve and I would like to sincerely thank the film producers, Studio Munka and Papaya Films, as well as the Polish Film Institute, the Consulate General of the Republic of Poland in Los Angeles, and the Polish Film Festival Los Angeles for their amazing support. Kamila Tarabura is the director, and she graduated from the Warsaw Film School and the Wahila School. Kamila gained her film experience by making short fictional films, commercials, and music videos, as well as through her work as an assistant director, which includes the TV series by Jan Komosa and the film High Life by Claire Dennis. Currently, she is developing her first feature film. She is also working with Nina Lowadenska, the writer of Into the Night, on the original coming-of-age drama series. Welcome, Kamila.
I'm always curious about the filmmaker's background, and where did your passion for filmmaking kind of come from, and how did you become a filmmaker? Tell us about your journey first.
It's a sort of long, short story because there weren't any filmmakers in my family, and my parents always wanted me to be a doctor. So it's surprising even for me. But I believe there is a pivotal moment in my growing up which made me consider being a filmmaker. And when I was a kid, I was very energetic and brave girl who wanted to be on the stage, wanted to take part in any school competition or school play. And when I was a teenager, something changed and I became more withdrawn and shy, and I couldn't express myself as I used to. And it was, difficult transition for me because I still had a strong desire to create something, but I was blocked. And my mom advised me to go to the teacher in my school and ask if I could direct a school play instead of being an actress in this. And actually it worked. And I remember, this satisfaction when I was sitting in the audience and keeping fingers crossed for my actors who were basically my friends. And I guess somehow from that moment, I started to thinking about being a filmmaker. I decided to go to a film school, and step by step, this is how it happened.
And how did you get the idea to do Into the Night, which is what we're talking about today? How did you get the idea for that film?
Well, the screenplay of Into the Night was written by Nina Lewandowska. We met 3 years ago because I wanted to convince her to work on my own story, but then she showed me her screenplay, and I guess somehow this shy and withdrawn and blocked emotionally main character Krysia somehow reminded me myself from that period of time, so it became close to me. So we started to collaborate on this screenplay, and later on we found great producers like Monk Studio and Papaya Films, who were they really believed in the story and gave us all support we needed. So we knew they fight for all the details that were important for us, for the music, for the best locations. So although the budget of the film wasn't big, we had many limitations. Thanks to the very creative group of people who believed in this story, we could do everything we wanted.
Can you tell us about the release plan for it? And also, I'm curious, how does a short film become eligible to be an Oscar film?
So our film had its world premiere at Warsaw Film Festival, and we were lucky enough to win an award for the best live action short, and that's how we became Oscar eligible short film. So our next step is Zoom In International Film Festival, which is for short films, and later on, when we will be done with the festivals, I hope we will be able to show our film to the broad audience on some VOD, but we still need to wait until we, are on this festival tour.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. And what did you do to make the film authentic? Like, what did you do for that?
Well, I understood that we need to do an enormous amount of research and just talk with young people, listen their stories. Together with Nina, we showed them a lot of versions of the screenplay just to listen about, their opinion about the themes in the story, but also the language, because we wanted to have the dialogues that will be somehow, teen-spirited and for this moment. So, like the biggest challenge was to find this communication with young people and collaborate with them on this project. But I believe it really worked, and in some way I can say that they were our collaborators and that they created this film together with us.
And I know the pandemic, it's been hard to attend a lot of these film festivals. You said you got going on the film festival circuit, but have you able to any audience reactions for the film? Maybe there's anything online or through Zoom or anything?
After the Warsaw Film Festival, I received some messages from the audience, mainly from young people, who told me that they could easily associate with the characters, that they could see themselves in our characters. So I think it was the most touching moment for me, because it was somehow important for me to make the authentic film.
And I have a question about your young actress, your leading lady, and but I want you to pronounce her name because I want to get it right. So could you pronounce?
Yeah, our leading actress was Agnieszka Rajda.
Yes, it's a beautiful name, but I just didn't want to chop it up myself. So she's completely, this was a role for her. She's completely new. How did you work with her on this? And I think this was her first acting job. Is that correct?
Yeah, for Agnieszka, it was her first time on the screen. It was her first film adventure. So it was important for me to gain her trust. I knew that I also have to introduce myself to her parents to show them that they can rely on me. And I wanted to spend as much time with my actresses as possible. I wanted to also organize some meetings that the girls could get to know each other better. And I also was doing a lot of readings of the script just to get to know if we all understand it the same way. And I knew that I have to say, clearly what I need them to do, so they wouldn't be surprised on the film set.
Yeah,
it's really great.
Well, I wonder if you can maybe go into more on this, because this is her first time on film. Is it working with different methods with a professional actress to someone that's first time amateur? What are your methods of working with different actresses?
The methods are pretty similar. Maybe I do more readings with non-professional actors because I want to check if they understand the scene and the whole text the same as I do. So we do the first reading, talking about emotions, and next stage is to analyze each line. What does the character want to do with this line to the other person? Do you want to hurt her, or do you want to make her feel sorry for you? We try different configurations. And the next stage is working on the set. In this case, working with non-professional actors, it was very important for me to have some space for changes and improvisation on the set, because I knew that the language of teenagers is something very alive and it's changed a lot. So even on the set, we've changed some lines to make them feel more authentic.
And what were kind of your visual inspirations for this film?
For my part, and speaking on behalf of my DOP, Patrick Keen, I would say that our main visual inspirations were still photographs. Our favorite photographers for that project were Bill Hansen and Petra Collins. We wanted to create the world that will be universal, so we searched for the places that could be everywhere. And we add a lot of colorful lights in the night scenes, just as in the photographs of Hansen and Collins, to express and emphasize the emotions of the main characters.
Well, as a cameraman that misses shooting stuff now because of the pandemic, I always like hearing about the collaboration with a director and the director of photography. I'll let you pronounce their name, but how did you pair and how did you work with them?
Well, we didn't know each other very well with Patrick. We shared the same rooster in Papaya, and we met and we talked a lot about the screenplay. I understood that Patrick can bring a lot because someone from his family suffered from depression, as I remember. So he had this first-hand experience and empathy for this project. And he could transcend his experience into visual style and had a lot of ideas about, how to express the Krysia's emotions. We prepared a mood book, which was like a Bible for us. We had a lot of pictures in this, and we're using it even on the film set sometimes to build this atmosphere that was captured on these photographs. And we actually think the same with Patrick, and we didn't need to talk much on the set because I think we have just very similar visual style.
How about the editing process? I think that's probably one of the hardest processes in filmmaking. So how did that go for you?
Well, together with Tomek Mączka, our editor, we understood that this film needs a special pace because in the story, the moments of silence and glances, gestures sometimes means much more than the dialogues and action itself. The biggest lesson for me was that the time is really significant in this process because I was used to the tempo of work, which is in commercials when you have just 1 or 2 days for the project and you don't have time for second thoughts. And here, I think we were editing this film like for 4 months. And I understood that this time for second thoughts, this in-betweens when we do something else, but somehow all the time transferring, the next versions is equally important than just sitting and editing. So it was like the biggest lesson that the time is very significant for this process.
Well, I know some things are kind of up in the air because of the pandemic, but is there any future projects that you're working on, anything you're allowed to talk about?
Yes, sure. I'm preparing my full feature film. It will be a story about 3 fascinating women dealing with family trauma. It will be very much about female sexuality. And the next thing is that together with Nina Lewandowska, after the success of Into the Night at Warsaw Film Festival, we were asked to prepare the original coming of age series drama. So this is something we are working on currently, and it's just great fun.
And where could we find you on social media?
Oh yes, please follow us on the Instagram. It's Into the Night Short. And we also have a Facebook account, which is facebook.com/Chodźmy w noc. This is the Polish version of the title. And we also have a website. It's www.intothenightfilm.com.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time for this interview with us. We were really excited in this Q&A that's happening for everyone who's interested in this film. So it's really, really, really exciting.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a great time. Thank you.
Dude, take care.
Take care.